It should never be forgotten that every object of interest that is placed in or about a hospital for the insane, that every tree that buds, that every flower that blooms may contribute in its small measure to excite a new train of thought and perhaps be the first steps toward bringing back to reason the morbid wanderings of the disoriented mind. The Michigan asylum system is the culmination of a moral, ethical wave in treatment that started with the Quakers in England in the late 1700s. These ideas were adopted by a descendant of a Quaker family named Thomas Kirkbride. Thomas Kirkbride was a physician and architect. He ran an asylum in Philadelphia in the 30s, and he had many progressive ideas about the treatment of the insane. Construction was begun spring of 1883. I believe the first thing built were the historic ventilation tunnels. As soon as the ground thawed, those were dug by hand and built by hand. And the building was built over the next 3 summers by approximately 500 workers. At one point, there were about 3,600 patients here. I believe that was in the late 40s, early 50s. The last patients left in July of 1989.
There was a large movement within the community, grassroots movement, to do whatever possible to preserve and adaptively reuse the buildings that were here. And that's kind of how my dad, Ray Sr., got involved in the project, being tapped as an expert in construction and historic renovation. It was really him and my stepmother, Marcia. They made a decision to put their life on the line to help get this going. And the idea was to hopefully do well by doing something good. Taking a building, repurposing that historic structure, and then finding new materials and putting them all back. It's like using what's already here and the historic context, and these massive load-bearing brick buildings, which has a different feel to it than how we build most buildings today with steel or wood. It's like an old castle, and when you're in it, you kind of feel that. And it was meant to be here for hundreds of years, and I think that's how people started getting attracted to the place. I think we have approaching almost 30 retailers, restaurants, cafes, tasting rooms on the site. There's almost 300 residential units on site. Some of them are apartments, some of them are Airbnbs, many of them are condominiums. Now, it's just kind of been this interesting quilt of different uses and purposes that have been placed in service, all surrounded by parkland. But we're only about 66% of the way done. So we're something we're very proud of. We've become this economic engine. I want to say there's almost 450 people that work on this campus in a given week. But it's very gratifying to see what's grown here. We planted some seeds and other people have been helped cultivating and watering, and things have grown here beyond what we could imagine. And I think this has been validated by the community support from local units of government, from the community at large, and plus from visitors traveling from all over that really have, in their own ways, helped support what's going on here, and that we're eternally grateful for, because if we built this and nobody else wanted to be here, it would fall flat on its face. But we built it and they came, and that's a beautiful thing.